it was said, "Whoever divorces his wife must give her a get." But I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife, except on the ground of fornication, makes her an adulteress, and that anyone who marries a divorcee commits adultery. Again, I have heard that our fathers were told, "Do not break your oath, keep your vows to Adonai." But I tell you not to swear at all, not by heaven. Some Parushim came and tried to trap him by asking, "Is it permitted for a man to divorce his wife on any ground whatsoever?" He replied, "Haven't you read that at the beginning the Creator made them male and female, and that he said, 'For this reason a man should leave his father and mother, and be united with his wife, and the two are to become one flesh'? Thus they are no longer two but one. So then no one should split apart what God has joined together." They said to him, "Then why did Moshe give the commandment that a man should hand his wife a get and divorce her?" He answered, "Moshe allowed you to divorce your wives because your hearts are so hardened. But this is not how it was at the beginning. Now what I say to you is that whoever divorces his wife, except on the ground of sexual immorality, and marries another woman, commits adultery." The Talmudim said to him, "If that is how things are between husband and wife, it would be better not to marry." He said to them, "Not everyone grasps this teaching, only those for whom it is meant. For there are different reasons why men do not marry. Some because they were born without the desire, some because they have been castrated, and some because they have renounced marriage for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. Whoever can grasp this, let him do so." That same day, some Tzaddukim came to him. They are the ones who say there is no such thing as a resurrection. So they put to him a she'elah. "Rabbi, Moshe said, if a man dies childless, his brother must marry his widow and have children to preserve the man's family line. There were 7 brothers. The first one married and then died, and since he had no children, he left his widow to his brother. The same thing happened to the second brother, and the third, and finally to all 7. After them all, the woman died. Now in the resurrection of the 7, whose wife will she be? For they all married her." Yeshua answered them, "The reason you go astray is that you are ignorant both of the Tanakh and of the power of God. For in the resurrection, neither men or women will marry. Rather, they will be like angels in heaven. And as for whether the dead are resurrected, haven't you read what God said to you? I am the God of Abraham, the God of Yitzhak, and the God of Yaakov. He is God not of the dead, but of the living." Some Parushim came up and tried to trap him by asking him, "Does the Torah permit a man to divorce his wife?" He replied, "What did Moshe command you?" They said, "Moshe allowed a man to hand his wife a get and divorce her." But Yeshua said to them, "He wrote this commandment for you because of your hard-heartedness. However, at the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. For this reason, a man should leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two are to become one flesh. Thus they are no longer two, but one. So then no one should break apart what God has joined together." When they were indoors once more, the Talmudim asked him about this. He said to them, "Whoever divorces his wife and marries another woman commits adultery against his wife. And if a wife divorces her husband and marries another man, she too commits adultery." Then some Tzaddukim came to him. They are the ones who say there is no such thing as resurrection. So they put to him a she'elah. "Rabbi, Moshe wrote for us that if a man's brother dies and leaves a wife but no child, his brother must take the wife and have children to preserve the man's family line. There were 7 brothers. The first one took a wife, and when he died, he left no children. Then the second one took her and died without leaving children, and the third likewise, and none of the 7 left children. Last of all, the woman also died. In the resurrection, whose wife will she be? For all 7 had her as wife." Yeshua said to them, "Isn't this the reason that you go astray? Because you are ignorant both of the Tanakh and of the power of God? For when people rise from the dead, neither men nor women marry. They are like angels in heaven. And as for the dead being raised, haven't you read in the book of Moshe, in the passage about the bush, how God said to him, I am the God of Abraham, the God of Yitzhak, and the God of Yaakov. He is God not of the dead, but of the living. You are going far astray. Some Sadducees, who say there is no resurrection, came to Yeshua and put to him a she'elah. Rabbi, Moshe wrote for us that if a man dies leaving a wife but no children, his brother must take the wife and have children to preserve the man's family line. Now there were 7 brothers. The first took a wife and died childless. Then the second and third took her, and likewise all 7, but they all died without leaving children. Lastly, the woman also died. In the resurrection, which one's wife will she be? For all 7 were married to her. Yeshua said to them, In this age men and women marry, but those judged worthy of the age to come and of the resurrection from the dead do not get married, because they can no longer die. Being children of the resurrection, they are like angels. Indeed, they are children of God. But even Moshe showed that the dead are raised. For in the passage about the bush, he calls Adonai the God of Abraham, the God of Yitzhak, and the God of Yaakov. Now he is not the God of the dead, but of the living. To him all are alive. Don't we have the right to be given food and drink? Don't we have the right to take along with us a believing wife, as do the other emissaries, also the Lord's brothers and Kepha? Or are Barnabas and I the only ones required to go on working for our living? Did you ever hear of a soldier paying his own expenses, or of a farmer planting a vineyard without eating its grapes? Who shepherds a flock without drinking some of the milk? What I am saying is not based merely on human authority, because the Torah says the same thing. For in the Torah of Moshe it is written, You are not to put a muzzle on an ox when it is treading out the grain. If God is concerned about cattle, all the more does he say this. All the more does he say this for our sakes. Yes, it was written for us, meaning that he who plows and he who threshes should work expecting to get a share of the crop. If we have sown spiritual seed among you, is it too much if we reap a material harvest from you? If others are sharing in this right to be supported by you, don't we have a greater claim to it? But we don't make use of this right. Rather, we put up with all kinds of things so as not to impede in any way the good news about the Messiah. Don't you know that those who work in the temple get their food from the temple, and those who serve at the altar get a share of the sacrifices offered there? In the same way, the Lord directed that those who proclaim the good news should get their living from the good news. But I have not made use of any of these rights, nor am I writing now to secure them for myself, for I would rather die than be deprived of my ground for boasting. For I can't boast merely because I proclaim the good news. This I do from inner compulsion. Woe is me if I don't proclaim the good news. For if I do this willingly, I have a reward. But if I do it unwillingly, I still do it, simply because I've been entrusted with a job. So then what is my reward? Just this, that in proclaiming the good news, I can make it available free of charge without making use of the rights to which it entitles me. So then, those who rely on trusting and being faithful are blessed along with Abraham, who trusted and was faithful. For everyone who depends on legalistic observance of Torah commands lives under a curse, since it is written, Cursed is everyone who does not keep on doing everything written in the scroll of the Torah. Now it is evident that no one comes to be declared righteous by God through legalism, since the person who is righteous will attain life by trusting and being faithful. Furthermore, legalism is not based on trusting and being faithful, but on a misuse of the text that says, Anyone who does these things will attain life through them. The Messiah redeemed us from the curse pronounced in the Torah by becoming cursed on our behalf. For the Tanakh says, Everyone who hangs for mistake comes under a curse. Yeshua the Messiah did this so that in union with him the Gentiles might receive the blessing announced to Abraham, so that through trusting and being faithful we might receive what was promised, namely the Spirit.
Quyền lợi của các trưởng lão. Các trưởng lão khéo lãnh đạo hội thánh thì càng phải được kính trọng nhiều hơn, nhất là những người chịu khó nhọc trong việc truyền đạo và dạy dỗ. Vì Kinh Thánh dạy, chớ khấp miệng con bò đang đạp lúa, và người làm công đáng được nhận tiền công. Đừng